Hey everyone, Dr. FJ here with Susan Schofield, Schofield Chiropractic Training, MoChihChu Podcast. So we were talking about we're going to do a quick one on team meetings. You work a lot with doctors and their staff, obviously, to help them become more efficient and more successful. And you were just saying off air that um, you find a lot of people aren't very consistent with team meetings.
Correct. Yep. And they don't understand the ripple effect or the value that a good team meeting can do. And then I thought you could uh, say some of the things that you have found to be very valuable that you consistently do in meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I think once your team is more than just you, getting everyone together, even if it's just you, I guess unless you're semi-retired, um, it's super important to sit down each week, especially if you're trying to grow. And where are we at? Where are our numbers? Where are we strong? Where are we not? And the averages are so important, so it takes the emotion out, because everything. It's not, it's not like 40th shift, four new patients, two commitments. It's not how it ends up working out. Last times it's 22 and then it's 60. It's no new patients. Then it's eight. It's six commitments and it's no commitments. And it's this. And so you don't want to live in that, up and down emotional world. That's why looking at your averages and your stats is so important. And then having everyone together, especially once you've had once you have multiple people on your team, getting everyone together and so you are all on the same page. Also, for me personally, it allows me to get to know them and talk about some personal stuff, like we talk about a win they've had, something they're thankful for, an improvement they're trying to make. Because I'm not great about sitting down and talking with people about their personal lives. Once I go to work, I'm there to work. And so it's a nice way to just connect with them and get to know everyone a little better and have everyone on the same page. And they're so easy not to do. And then one week becomes 2 weeks, becomes 3 weeks, becomes 5 weeks, and then you haven't done one in a really long time. So it's just checking your office performance regularly, and then little input from the team on how things are doing and how things are going is really vital.
I think Dr. FJ, that's really crucial because they're in the trenches and the patients are sometimes going to tell them things that they won't tell you, the doctor.
Yeah, for sure.
And there might be upsets happening or wins happening that you are not aware of at all. And I think that's also great and team meetings and covering that to let everybody know what's going on. Even sometimes in the past, Dr. Fred would cover x-rays and like what that patient came in with and where they're at now. Also, letting them see the value of everything that they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great time to get everyone together. And yeah, also explain that when you're at a quality chiropractic office, and every week you're seeing migraines disappear, vertigo disappear, pain of years and years disappear. Sitting your team down and letting them know this isn't how every office operates. This is special, and lives are being changed for the better. And lots of times you almost become numb to it and you forget. And
Mhm.
usually your team evolves. You're not going to have the same people with you for 5, 10, 20 years unless you're very fortunate. And even then, your practice is going to have to evolve. And so, yeah, getting feedback on your team, anytime you're trying new stuff, you always want to be growing and improving no matter what you're doing. So how is the new scheduling system working out? How is the new therapy working out? What are the issues? Because lots of time is especially if you have a bunch of maintenance patients, a doctor, you're only with them for a few minutes, but then the staff has to potentially answer a few questions. If they're older, maybe they're rescheduling. Maybe they have to do a therapy, and they end up doing a lot more, doing a re-exam sheet, helping the person fill that out. If you're doing insurance, they got a new insurance card. They're doing way more than you. And so it's just lots of times good to understand where they're at, where are the bottlenecks, is the potential for us to grow.
Yeah, and I think one of the complaints that I get from team members the most with staff meeting is the doctor's always negative. He's always or she's always pointing out what we're doing wrong, not what we're doing right. So we want to make sure that the meetings also, like it's fun to go to a meeting. It's not like drudgery. And being positive and inspiring as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's an excellent point. If you're going to critique, for the most part, I would critique one-on-one. Um, and then I would try to compliment to the group. Like, okay, you did this well, this was done well. Hey, so and so stayed late. So and so squeezed a new patient in here. If they took on a new responsible, like, hey, great job, Sophie, doing the consults. Peggy, the x-rays this week look really good. So, and then you can talk about if there's challenges and if they had something happen, you can always, be like, hey, going forward, let's do it this way.
Hmm.
Um, and if there are real problems, like you've asked someone to do something 100 times, they're not doing it, then you got to sit down and have those chats one-on-one, not to the group.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I know consistently we've always done our meetings at the beginning of the week. Um, and we've also shortened our meeting time as well. What are you currently doing?
Yeah, I tried Mondays in the past. It just lots of times reports would get scheduled and it wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. So I like Tuesday mornings. It's 10 a.m. Some people show up just at 10, but most of the team has been there for a little bit. And it's pretty quick. We review the averages. And then usually it's a win, an improvement, and something you're thankful for. We go through that. Any comments, challenges, and you see, and you just see like we're doing a raffle, but this raffle there hasn't been as much attention on it, and we haven't had as many reviews or adjustment of videos from it. So what do we need to do about that? So and so this happened. This patient was upset about something. How do we want to handle that? Whatever it is, or so and so, said this was the best decision they've ever made, and then the whole team gets to hear that and see it. So it's nice for you as the leader. You get to say things once to the group instead of saying it individually to two or three or four people. And the meeting's usually about a half hour, nothing crazy. And then Thursdays, lots of times if we're training on things, then we'll take 15-30 minutes and train on it. But Tuesdays, we review the averages, um, any challenges we're facing, and then we go through and then we carry on. Where are we at as far as hitting the bonus for the month, all those kind of things.
I think that's great. And I know that you're organized and prepared, but I think that's important that you can't just wing a meeting. You want to have an agenda or you want to have a planner or a notebook that you have four or five things that you want to cover so you stay on track and it doesn't go forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another thing. Lots of times, if there's things happening throughout the week, I'll write them down and then I just cover them with everybody at the team meeting.
Hmm.
Like if there's something I'm seeing, whatever it is, I'll cover it all at once with the team meeting, and then it's just easier. And yeah, definitely have a outline of what you want to cover, and then move on. Yeah, you don't want a meeting that's just carrying on and you're bitching and moaning, and then you're
Yeah.
dragging everyone down. That would be very counterproductive for sure.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Is there one thing that you have found over the years of giving meetings that you would say is number one in your book to cover every week?
I think setting the expectation for people, like let
Great
them
idea.
know where if you're gonna make a mistake, this is where I want you to make a mistake. Like if there's something you see and you try to do it, and help me out, like whatever. If we're busy and you go in and do a re-exam, but you've never done it before, no problem. Maybe it didn't go great, but you were actively trying to do something And I want people to know that's okay. If you're trying to take things off my plate, if you're trying to solve problems, what I don't want is a whole bunch of people petrified to make a mistake. So then they don't do anything and they need me to make every decision. Like if something happened, you made a decision, we went with it. Okay, we can always correct it for there, but you were proactive. And so that's a big one is consistently setting the expectation of just be proactive, try to solve problems. If it's a, if it's a huge one, come talk to me. But if it's a $50 issue and you get it wrong, not a big deal. We'll
Right.
learn you took action. And so setting the expectation is really big. And then just consistently looking at your numbers because you'll see things coming. It's when you haven't looked in 6 months and all of a sudden you haven't had over 5 new patients in weeks and weeks and weeks. Now you're like in the hole and you got to really get going. Whereas if you're looking at that stuff consistently, you're going to see like, hey, we haven't performed in the last few weeks like we normally do. What's going on?
Great. I think those are absolutely awesome ideas. Anything else you can think of?
No, I would just say just start doing them. Set a time, just do it. Even if they're 5 minutes, you just review the 6 week average for new patients and you review how many you had last week. And then you're done. If you just start there, that's a good place to be, and then you can grow from there.
Awesome.
So yeah, definitely do them once a week, consistent. They don't have to be long, and you'll see in time everybody on the same page, and it'll help your performance. So, well, thank you. I think that was short and sweet, and it'll be valuable for many. And thanks for listening. If you like it, subscribe, share, comment. Any questions? We'd love to help you in any way we can. And have a great week and keep charging.